Throughout human history, warriors have shaped civilization, toppled empires, and carved their names into legend. Some were kings or generals, leading armies with brilliant strategy. Others were lone fighters, mastering technique so lethal that their mere presence on the battlefield inspired fear. These are the deadliest warriors to ever live. Fighters whose skills, discipline, and sheer brutality ensured that history would never forget them. Let's start with the Spartans of ancient Greece, perhaps the most iconic warriors in history. From a young age, Spartan boys were trained in the agode, a brutal system designed to forge them into perfect soldiers. They endured hunger, pain, and extreme physical challenges, all to become the ultimate warriors. Spartan soldiers were famous for their discipline, their phalanx formation, and their unwavering courage. The Battle of Thermopylae immortalized their prowess. 300 Spartans held off a Persian army of hundreds of thousands. Though most died, their skill and fearlessness became legendary, proving that training, strategy, and sheer willpower could turn a handful of men into an unstoppable force. Moving east, the samurai of feudal Japan were masters of both skill and honor. Unlike the Spartans, their code, Bushido, emphasized loyalty, precision, and discipline. Samurai trained their entire lives in swordsmanship, archery, and martial arts. The katana, their weapon of choice, was more than a tool. It was an extension of the warrior's body. Samurai could defeat multiple opponents with fluid, deadly efficiency. Some samurai, like Miyamoto Musashi, became legendary for dueling hundreds of opponents, perfecting techniques that made them nearly unbeatable in combat. What made them deadly wasn't just strength. It was years of relentless practice, focus, and mastery of mind and body. The Mongol warriors under Genghis Khan were another breed of lethal efficiency. They were not just skilled fighters. They were masters of psychological warfare, cavalry tactics, and terror. Mongol archers could shoot accurately while riding full speed, striking down enemies before they even reached the battlefield. Entire cities surrendered at the mere rumor of their arrival, knowing that the Mongols' brutality was unmatched. Genghis Khan's armies combined mobility, discipline, and intelligence, creating a force capable of conquering almost the entire known world in less than a century. These warriors didn't just fight, they reshaped civilizations with their unparalleled skill and ruthlessness. In the deserts of the Middle East, the Bedouin and Arabian warriors of ancient times were renowned for their endurance, strategy, and skill with swords and bows. Living in harsh conditions required resourcefulness and resilience. They perfected hit-and-run tactics, ambushes, and horse-mounted combat, often outmaneuvering larger, less mobile armies. Their knowledge of terrain combined with deadly accuracy in combat made them fearsome opponents. These warriors thrived where survival itself was a battle, proving that adaptability can be as lethal as brute force. The Vikings, often remembered for raiding and pillaging, were warriors who combined physical strength with strategic cunning. Far more than mindless barbarians, Viking fighters were trained from childhood in swordsmanship, axes, and shields. They perfected formations, naval assaults, and raiding strategies that allowed small groups to terrorize larger, well-established settlements. Some Viking warriors became legendary for their size, strength, and ferocity in battle, inspiring fear across Europe. Their success wasn't just physical, it was psychological, using reputation and terror to dominate opponents before combat even began. In the Far East, the ninja of feudal Japan were specialists in stealth, assassination, and unconventional warfare. Unlike the samurai, who fought honorably on the battlefield, ninja excelled in ambushes, espionage, and sabotage. Their training included martial arts, disguise, and deadly weapon mastery. Ninja could infiltrate enemy territories, eliminate targets silently, and vanish without a trace. While many aspects of their legend are mythologized, historical evidence confirms that ninja were highly skilled operatives who could turn the tide of conflict without ever engaging in direct combat. Their lethality lay in precision, secrecy, and intelligence. The Aztec Jaguar warriors were another group that exemplified deadly skill and fearlessness. Part of an elite military caste in ancient Mesoamerica, these warriors fought with obsidian blades, spears, and clubs. They were trained to capture enemies for ritual sacrifice, a terrifying motivation that combined physical prowess with psychological dominance. Their armor, made from jaguar skins, symbolized strength and ferocity. Jaguar warriors weren't just fighters, they were instruments of intimidation and control, ensuring their empire's survival through unmatched combat ability. In medieval Europe, the Knights Templar were feared not only for their martial skill, but for their discipline and coordination. They combined the heavy armor, swordsmanship, and strategic training that allowed them to dominate battlefields across the Holy Land. Their combination of religious devotion and combat expertise made them formidable opponents. Trained from youth, conditioned through rigorous discipline, and committed to their cause, these knights demonstrated that lethality often comes from combining physical prowess with unwavering purpose. The Zulu warriors under Shaka Zulu in southern Africa represent another remarkable example. Shaka reorganized his army, introducing the Ikluwa spear and the buffalo horn formation. These innovations made Zulu warriors nearly unbeatable in close combat. They combined speed, aggression, and precise tactics to defeat larger, more technologically equipped opponents. The discipline instilled by Shaka turned ordinary men into elite warriors capable of reshaping regional power dynamics. Their ferocity and innovation made them legends, feared by friends and enemies alike. Even in modern times, certain warriors have left their mark. The special forces and elite commandos of various nations, trained in stealth, tactics, and hand-to-hand combat, demonstrate that lethality is not confined to ancient history. Units like the Navy SEALs, British SAS, and Russian Spetsnaz train under extreme conditions, mastering weaponry, survival, and intelligence operations. While their battles are often covert, their impact is undeniable. Modern warfare shows that deadly skill adapts with technology, but remains rooted in discipline, mental fortitude, and relentless training. Some warriors achieved renown through sheer intimidation and psychological mastery. The Mamluks of Egypt, originally enslaved soldiers, became a dominant military force in the Middle East. Their training, discipline, and mounted combat skills made them nearly unstoppable in battle. They combined strategy with brutality, ensuring that their enemies feared both their swords and their reputation. These warriors show that lethality is not just a measure of skill, it's a combination of skill, psychology, and reputation. The assassins of the Middle East, particularly the Hashashin, were specialized in stealth, infiltration, and precision strikes. Operating in the mountains of Persia, these warriors could eliminate powerful targets without large-scale battles. Their training included patience, observation, and mastery of unconventional tactics. To their enemies, they were omnipresent and invisible, striking fear into rulers and armies alike. History remembers them not for size or strength, but for their precision and terrifying efficiency. In ancient China, the terracotta warriors may not have been real fighters, but the soldiers they represent, the Qin dynasty warriors, were elite, highly trained combatants. These men mastered formations, archery, swordsmanship, and cavalry tactics. The emperor's vision required soldiers who could implement complex strategies, hold disciplined formations, and execute commands under pressure. The physical and tactical skill of these warriors ensured the empire's dominance during Qin Shi Huang's reign, proving that lethal effectiveness comes from a blend of individual skill and collective coordination. Even single fighters became legends in history. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, fought over 60 duels without losing a single one. His mastery of swordsmanship, strategy, and psychological warfare made him nearly untouchable. Musashi's skill wasn't just physical, it was intellectual. He studied opponents, manipulated situations, and perfected techniques over decades. His legacy demonstrates that the deadliest warriors combine mind, body, and instinct into an almost supernatural level of efficiency. The Celtic warriors, known for their ferocity in battle, wielded massive swords and axes, fought naked to intimidate, and charged fearlessly into enemy lines. Their bravery, skill, and sheer audacity made them a terrifying force in ancient Europe. Roman writers often noted that facing Celts was as much a psychological battle as a physical one, and their reputation alone could influence outcomes. Their lethality came from both physical skill and the ability to instill fear before the first sword was swung. Even today, we look back on these warriors with awe, knowing that they weren't just strongmen. They were the perfect blend of skill, willpower, and deadly intent. They remind us that human potential, when focused and honed, can produce warriors capable of almost anything. And for history, the deadliest warriors are not just remembered for their victory. They are immortalized by the fear and respect they inspired. Because when it comes to combat, history shows us one universal truth: skill, discipline, and determination are far more lethal than brute force alone. And the deadliest warriors to ever live proved that time and again, leaving a legacy that still commands respect and awe today.